You have
Yeah, I got it.
you got the 133s on there or no?
Hold on 1 second. Let me look. I think I got 135s.
135s. All right.
Yeah, I got some. Yeah, I got some 135 in July 16th.
Word. 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 Word.
And I played D Dog. I made a stupid play again. Remember I told you that I put the put in instead of the call.
Yep.
This time I put the call in instead of the put.
Damn. Damn.
Weeks.
But yo, why I'm up 35%?
Shit, I mean it worked out then, right?
Yeah, no, I just wrote it out because I was playing this big drop, like a $3 drop, and I was sitting on it, and I'm like, damn, I'm down 80%. So I just walked away from it, and I came back. It was green.
Dang.
He's
That is nice. That doesn't always happen.
But that was the same way when I dropped 240 down, and I got out, and I should have stayed in on that put. But you know, I don't play them puts. I'm scared of them.
Yeah, that's a fact.
don't fight the Fed.
Nah, because I really don't understand it. That's why I asked you, Zach. I really don't. So I made a mistake on one of the plays. So when you do a put, you wanna set your strike price lower.
No, not necessarily. Realistically, you want to buy the top, right? You want to buy like, it's basically no different than a call, right? If you look at like the prices of them, right? Like sometimes you buy you could buy an in the money put just because you're doing it because it's just cheaper, or you just like that level.
Okay.
It's just the right to sell the shares at that price, and you're just scalping premium really off of it, right?
So for like just hypothetically speaking, so use Apple. So if Apple is at 120 at 133, I want to do, and I know that is going down. I want to do a 132, or I want to just do the 133, or do I want to do a 130?
I mean, the highest, right? I mean, the more premium you pay, the more it costs, the more money you're gonna make, right? So I mean, you'd want to try and buy that high strike. I mean, sometimes we'll buy, you buy in the money is no problem if you're planning on having a big move, right?
Okay.
Like overcomplicating your head. It's just like buying like an out the money call.
Okay. All right, I got you.
Right? Do you want to buy the 140 or do you want to buy the 135? So like, probably the 135. It's closer to the money.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just trading volatility.
I got you.
The cheaper premium is cheaper for a reason. There's a less chance it's going to hit.
There's a less chance that you're going to be in the money.
Right.
I got you.
How long do you plan on holding it and time and the whole thing?
I got you.
Oh, no. You want to play all of a sudden? Are you got stock talk and you want to play fetch?
Hey, question, Master.
Shoot.
So, just paying off his question. I know when you do in the money, you are looking for like the bigger moves, but would you also do in the money strikes when there's a stock that moves a lot in a day, like Amazon or those big money moves that move 60, 70, 80 bucks a day type stuff?
I mean, yeah, why not? It's like I said, it's gonna cost more money, but if it costs more, it's gonna make more.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you would usually buy, like, you said you would buy at the money for, like, smaller, right? It may make it there, it may not, if it's not moving much, you would buy at the money, right?
If it's moving much, I'm not touching it, because we're in contract land, we're strictly just playing volatility. Right. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it could go down, but if it goes down 30 cents, that doesn't fucking do anything for me. If it goes up, it doesn't do anything for me. You could chop sideways for 4 days, and you're just paying the theta bill. That's why. It's not like you're not buying shares and like keep buying the dip and load and waiting for a bounce or something. We have
So
They-
I mean, out of curiosity, if we may ask, you know, do you buy more in the monies or do you buy more at the monies?
Depends on the like what's
The move.
like is it a weekly or is it a 6 month? Like a 6 month's probably going to be a little bit out of the money, right? Because I'm trying to buy it, I'm trying to go long on it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a weekly, if it's a weekly, whether it's a put or a call, you want to probably be right on strike, right?
Okay.
There's no reason to when it's a weekly, it's already probably pretty cheap, and you're playing with super high risk already. If you're
No, that makes sense.
by a deep out of the money call, right, on a weekly, it goes 10 cents the wrong way on you. Your thing's blown out.
Yeah.
Just on volatility. Which I always say, like I like trading if I'm bullish, like if we're bullish on Baba, right? But we only bought in July, so it's not that far out. Like Exxon, better Exxon. Like I have a January call for Exxon, right? But if I saw a major weakness, I would buy a short dated put. Doesn't mean I'm going to sell that long call necessarily. I kind of want to hold that, but I could buy a shorter dated put, take that money, and then reinvest it.
That way he can capitalize on the quick move in the short term, and essentially he doesn't have to sell his longs because he's made his money on the short term. Then he would evaluate why it moved down, look at his long leg, and then he'll be sitting pretty because he made that short money in the short term.
Well, that's smart. That's smart.
Or it's like, what is your position like going into it? Like when you don't have a position on a stock and you're just going in and buying a contract, you're purely just betting on a directional move. Like that's the only thing that you're not even really, especially if you're only buying like a 2-week contract or a weekly contract, you're not even long the stock. You are purely betting on just a directional move. As soon as it goes the wrong direction, your IV changes, your premium changes, the whole thing, right? So, but what is your position already? Like most important thing you want to think like prior you get into something.
You also have to know the trend as well. Like the trend, like your Monday through Wednesday, that's when we've been noticing the largest spike up in prices when it comes to options. Towards the end of the week, we've been seeing a big die off on contracts just because they're selling it at Friday.
It's such a contract-driven market now. A lot of these stocks they're not even working off like fundamentals, this, that, and the other thing. It's all just delta hedging back and forth with these dealers, right? Because so many people are trading contracts now. So exactly what you just said. Like, people buying all these contracts, see those big jumps Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe chopping, and Thursday, Friday, they come down. What is that? It's just theta decay, right? It's just people just rolling contracts off. That's why I'm talking about that so much. We're in such a contract-driven market now.
No, you're right. We're seeing that.
Especially in the more contracts that are traded in that stock, the more that stock is going to follow like the contracts than it is the the chart will show you is like it'll be very similar, but it's just going to abide by different rules in a sense. Like more violent moves. That's why we always want. Like we don't want to play a stock that doesn't have a shitload of contract volume, and it's a little, it's not based on like strikes and stuff. It's more just like ETF flows and SPY or whatever the fuck.
Because if those contracts aren't moving, even if you're in the right play, you're just gonna lose. You're just gonna start dying out slowly. That's like on my SJM play I had Smuckers. I started bringing in that short at like $132 or $130 right before those earnings ran up. But I ran a credit spread on it, which is something we'll talk about a little going forward. I think next week I'll make a presentation on credit spread because that'll help you when these stocks that have no options movements, they just start dying out. It gives you a little more lifeline going forward. Like SJM popped up to 140. So since I started my short at 133, I was already dying out, but I had it spread on it. And right now we're in the money sitting at 129 and it's still dying. So.
Yeah, Spence, I do a lot of debit spreads. So you're doing, it's basically the same though, but you're getting the credit up front. I'm paying the premium up front.
So just you gotta also understand like the conditions of the market. Like we've been seeing big push-ups 9:30 to 11, die off. Big pushes Monday to Wednesday, die off. So you also got to take that into effect as well. You'll see. I think some of us get look quiet during the daytime just because we've been just lulling into. We've been saying power hour at 3, but nothing's really happening. Just knowing the trend overall and knowing that we are getting severely overvalued in our overall markets, and just knowing where you're at and just playing with patience.
Yeah, I want to touch on one thing. It's kind of like what Glitch said. Like, how do I know where the rotation is going? Which, I mean, we saw a little bit of rotation the other day, right? I pointed out after the Fed meeting, we saw all of a sudden tech just broke back out, right? It came out of that wedge, just broke out to the upside after that Fed meeting. And it's like, why is that, right? Like, what the fuck is going on there? Right? It's J Powell being ultra dovish, right? Like saying, I'm not going to taper, we're not going to change rates or whatever. That's like a basic rotation you're going to see. It's like we saw in after the vaccine news in December and January, the big reflation trade, right? All of a sudden, you saw all the energy stocks, utility, and banks were super bullish from, December until about now, right? Which, they're still bullish. They're just a little more choppy than they were. They were absolutely ripping for about 3 or 4 months. At the same time, tech was just going completely sideways for those 3 months, right? From, January to about May, right? We kind of just finally broke out of that range in tech. So how much is this rotation into tech going to continue? I don't know. We'll see. We got to ride that fucking wave, but it's just basic rotations. It's based on whatever fucking comes out of J Powell's mouth, right? Which is ridiculous. How many people are in here? Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Zach, should we just get rocking and rolling? Is Zach even in here? Yeah, he is. Still, do you?
He's just put in the chat BRB.
Okay. Got you. We'll wait on Zach to get back. Any specific stocks or questions? Start dropping in main chat.
Master, did I miss the XCOM?
Got a couple different things I want to go through. But let's just so I can have my charts whenever ready.
Hey, did I miss the XCOM talk?
No, we'll go through. I'll do
Okay.
all the oil stocks. Workhorse. Yeah, Workhorse had a nice bust the other day back over that 15, right? 1561. Failed the 200 though.
Sound like you're ready for Christmas in July.
IWM is pretty interesting here, huh? Still under that 200. Kinda got over it on the yearly.
We haven't had a clean break of that 232. We saw that pump up to 234, but it's struggled at that 232 level.
Yeah, I was listening to a couple of smart macro guys the other day, and they were saying they think small caps are ready to break out here.
That's what we need for the market to take the next turn up, though. That's the only thing that's going to move our markets overall to that next gap up, because you see all these larger companies are already having all-time highs, 2-3 weeks in a row and consolidating.
Right, we find all the blue chips did their big push, right? These past few weeks, all the blue chips did their big push. Now they're capped out, ready to go sideways. Maybe there's 1 or 2 left in there, but small caps have to drive it, right? Because even the utilities and energy sectors have kind of gone into this chop zone. They're not really looking to leg up just yet, maybe. Small caps here, right? Yearly just got over that 200 there now. This might be Spence's big week here, small cap city.
Charge!
Workhorse, Fubo, MasterCard stocks based on the BILTS program. What is the BILTS program? ESGC for targeting small caps. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this MasterCard looks fucking fantastic. This looks like it could be ready to go here. Go to these contracts. $370, major support at 370 there.
Must you see what APAC said about the program?
Dave French.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the chart for MasterCard looks super bullish on the yearly, getting over that 200 there with a big fucking hammer candle. Great contract volume up here, both in the money and out of the money, especially in the money at this 360 range here. So yeah, 385, yeah. Yeah, MasterCard 385 calls. That's your play. That's a banger.
Hey, Master, quick question on that one too. Is this one of those buy the play, sell the news or something like that? What is that saying?
See, the sell the news ones, that's more with like small caps and like small caps, biotech stuff. These big blue chip stocks, they're not gonna like dump back on you that
But buy
hard.
the river, sell the news type thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna see the big run up and then sell off super hard because they have so much like pension flows and SP, the SPY or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Small caps and biotech, yeah, always sell the fucking news, always. Because you look at those companies, you're looking like 60% is held by insiders. It's like, oh,
Okay.
There's where that bullish article came from, right? Blue chips, it wouldn't be as concerned
like if you look at MasterCard, Visa, and American Express, you also want to look up those three stocks alone. Last week saw a huge push up altogether, so that's the only thing that would keep me a little bearish on it, is because we've seen a large push up between those credit card companies over the last week already.
Yeah, right. They already got half.
If you put all those three stocks side by side, they're almost identical. I mean, MasterCard has a little bit more consolidation. That's where I'd probably be the most bullish on MasterCard. But if you put those three stocks together, looking at the 4 hour, they're almost identical. So,
Visa,
I mean, we may jump in for another week.
What was the other one? Visa, MasterCard. What was the other one?
Press, AXP.
Yeah, I think MasterCard's your most bullish chart, right? Because you're closer to that 200 there. You probably have your bigger moves still to go.
And you've seen more of a consolidation when it is. You haven't seen these large pop-ups. You've seen it more consolidate, small push, consolidate. So that's probably your safest play out of the three. But the whole sector in general is already moving up.
Yeah, these are expensive contracts, but take a look at August 20th, 385 calls. That's your fucking play. That's your play. Without a doubt.
Hey, Master, how you feel about another push with Nike and CarMax after earnings?
CarMax. What's CarMax's ticker?
I think it was. Hold on, let me get it again. I think it was like KMX. Yeah, KMX.
KMX. That's a funky chart there, huh? What is that? What's that gap on? What the fuck? So what, could CarMax just like fucking crush earnings? Is that what happened here?
Yeah. I think CarMax and Nike had earnings at the same time.
Yeah, Nike, I know. Nike was fucking unbelievable, right? That candle, oh my god. That's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's a no play for me. It's too high. What are you going to do? You're going to buy you could do a spread on it or something if you wanted to get weird and shit, but I mean...
Okay, is this CarMax?
Yeah.
I'm looking at Nike.
Okay.
CarMax kind of looks a little more interesting, like it could have some more room to go.
Mm-hmm.
With that, they're already trying to publish bearish news on like the used car market in general. You got to think that major plants have been shut down for a while. With this reopening, you'll see the new car lots pile up more. You kind of had like the best of both worlds with COVID happening, the stimulus payments, like people not trusting like bigger car corporations. So that's the thing. That sector, we've seen a large pull up. It was the same thing with was it Carnova? What's the other? There's another one, not CarMax. I'll think about it. We've seen a huge run up. No, that's it. Carvana,
the delivery company one.
Correct. So CarMax is focusing on used cars, majority of it. You see a big hold there, and those car values are sitting all-time highs. So that has a lot to do with inventory, with them not pushing out as many new cars, with not being able to, with restrictions, and having to put such a high price on the premium because of the parts and all of like infrastructure costing more, like transportation, like being shut down. So that's why we're seeing these car market, like these used cars dealers, really see a push up. So as I think as like we open up even more, I think those values will come back down to earth, and these have like a settlement to go through.
Got you.
I mean, the flows, just talking contract volume here for CarMax, I mean, it looks unbelievably bullish. If you're just looking at both in the money calls and out the money calls, but I would just wonder how much of this is just because of that, like that big push up already. But even going through later dates, it's still there. We got more volume than interest on these in the monies. That should give you a nice flow there on July 16th. I mean, even August 20th, you're seeing pretty bullish flows in here, but on their side as well. Something I'd watch. I don't see anything particularly interesting here. CarMax more than Nike, I would watch. Nike's just like I don't know, would have liked to just own the stock. Let me go back to the chat here. NST, STL for going the bottom, too hard. Is that that's not MicroStrategy, right? Or is it? It is. Double bottom? MicroStrategy? I couldn't fathom playing this. STL 200 double bottom. Fam, are you using a simple moving average? Or the DEMA? The DEMA? At 180 day? Because I have it under. My 180 day on MSTR, it's under its 200. I actually failed its 200 DEMA.
So on mine, on the 200, I had it wick. Okay, the wick went through the 200 on mine, on the 184 hour, on Monday. Went back up, rejected the 21, and then on Friday came back down and almost wicked off the 200 again.
I this in what I'm looking at in the chat.
All right, so yeah, right.
It came up, attempted that 200, and then broke underneath it, and then even failed its 21.
You don't have
My
a 200.
other line is
Oh, you
21.
do have a 200.
200 is the blue. So you actually failed both there. But this boots with Bitcoin too. Like I don't.
How do I publish mine? How do I share it?
The top right, it should say share, and you're gonna open link, copy, send.
Oh, I see. Yeah. The share it.
I've actually wanted to short MicroStrategy really bad. Just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, they gap up and gap down real quick.
Real quick. It was probably that big. What date is this? 6/14. When did they announce? They announced they were selling their debt to buy more Bitcoin. Savages.
Yeah, because I have rolled MicroStrategies up 900, like 875.
God bless your soul.
So I think I shared it, but it doesn't show it in.
Oh, that's him. Oh, that's right there.
Mine's just a chart for some reason.
To the upside. Yeah, I don't see yours.
But I got this.
Let's see.
I got this. Give me a second. I can. I got it.
Getting tripped out. Why is your 200? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, so I have my Dima 200. I have 2155 and 200.
That's a Dima 200, right? What, tripping? Yeah, Dima 200. What the fuck?
Yeah, the yellow's my Dima 200. I'm on the 184 hour.
Let me I could take a screenshot of mine.
And how are we on this cut? Like a different fucking.
Yeah, like mine is. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna take a screenshot of mine. Don't laugh at my colors.
I just once I share it, I just paste it into the chat, right?
I normally just drag and drop it right into the chat.
You can do that.
I go share, open link, copy image.
Yeah, I don't have an open link.
Give me 1 second. I'm dropping mine now. Where is it? I just dropped mine in there.
I left my wireless mouse at work, and it's making that much difficult. Copy.
Master, you see my chart?
All right, there you go, Master. I just screen snipped it.
Yeah, I see it.
Yours could look kind of like. Let me see.
You should have reached out my 200. It almost double bottoms off of it, almost.
Mine look kind of like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did the same thing. It's the same thing.
After you sure you're updated off of
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Hey fam, you see mine?
No.
There's a couple up.
Let's get Workhorse. Anyone else? Why the 385 call 820 expiry for MA? Why the 385 call the 820? I was
Jack here.
pointing that one out as that would be your target. If you're just looking at pure option flows, that is, you can see there's a massive amount of volume on there, more than the open interest. So I mean that's where the big money's looking to take it. You don't necessarily have to buy that date, right? If we're trading contracts, we're just trading volatility. Your entry is the most important thing. Let me pull my chart back now. So MA. That would probably be your safest play, right? You could buy that and kind of let that rock and roll. Let yourself get $10 in the money, right? I mean, you don't want to buy a 400, and I mean, you could buy that 400. It's a little bit cheaper. You make less. It's however you want to play it, but entry is everything on the contract. My initial target would be 385, though, right? How much higher over this 200 are we going to go before it starts mean reverting back into it? Again, going to contracts on NA. I mean, we don't really see. I mean, the volume completely dies out after your 430 strike, right? I mean, and even you're really not seeing any volume, even in 410s, 415s. It's very, very minor. And I'm looking at August 20th, right? I want to see if people are actually long this. I'm not just looking at weeklies, obviously. On the closer term, I'm more concerned with people owning the in the money calls, right? So I want to know that they're actually long this stock. Which you're seeing great support here at that 370 strike. A little bit less, like 375. And again, your volume on your strikes dies out at 405 on your July 16th. So I don't think again, it stands out here on that July 16th. Still talking to MA here. You're 382.5, right, for July 16th. You got more volume than open interest, 382.5. Then you go to your August 20th. Find a strike with more volume than open interest, 385, right? So they're layering in here already. This looks extremely bullish. This might be a nice little call out here. I'd want to pull back here. If they don't open this up too high on you, this could easily gap up all this. Should be really frustrating. 379.
What was that? A 385 MasterCard August 6th?
August 20th. Those are the ones that stood out. Which your previous high is that 401. It sold off 389 there, 391. You have a nice little kind of like a cup forming here. All the way to 200. I mean, this thing could really rip. I'm not saying it's not going to go over 385, right? But when you're buying you want to be in the money, right? If you want to get paid out the best. I don't know if this goes for another all-time high. I don't know if are people buying above this 400? Not really. Let's go to Leaps. So that's kind of interesting. The only volume you see on January's 490s, some 440s, and 410s. It's very minor volume. It's literally nothing, but that's the only time you're seeing 400 volume step in. With 385 at plenty of time is your best bet. That's really about it. Let's see what else. Why do you want to see more volume than open interest? Why? Because we're trading volatility here. That's going to obviously create some type of some dealer hedging of some sort, right? It's just a matter of people want it at that price then, right? It's the right to purchase 100 shares at that price. If there's more volume than open interest, it just shows it's just bullish, right? It means people want it at that price, and especially if they're buying with time here. I'm losing my voice. That's just always something I'm looking out for, right? For just I would call it like just bullish flows. If that's where people are attacking, that's where we want to go. Well, nice kind of bottom down in this trend here. Yeah, MA is definitely on watch. This looks fantastic, especially with that bullish news. Let's squeeze in here from inside. Snow. Yeah, we were watching snow pretty closely last week. What did we get to? 247. Target I think is 260, right? I mean, that's where we were seeing. We're seeing a lot of flow algo for it. I believe 260 long strikes, right? Let's kind of confirm and look through flows ourselves here. Snow, as far as the July 16th contracts. Not a lot of contracts traded in this for a tech stock. I expected a little bit more. I was too busy with the memes. The 260s, not that much volume. A lot of really deep out of the money stuff.
Pushing out, you don't see a lot of volume on snow either.
Yeah, right? I was expecting a lot more. This used to be like a real big contract play.
Yeah, it's not there. I mean, you could even look at
back to an IPO.
270s.
Okay, and you got that pretty nasty sell candle there on Friday. Yeah, I'm on the yearly daily and see 4 hour. Yeah, it didn't really fail the 21, but if you just kind of snap a trend line from this top here, it's kind of
Yeah, I have it sitting like bouncing off like 3 times already.
and it kind of failed this liquidity gap that it has at 254 to 260. See, this could be one of the things I would see it cooling back down, then coming up retesting, and then giving you a gap up, letting this 200 come up a little bit higher. Doesn't look like it's ready to break out to me just yet. I think it needs to touch that 200. I mean, it did. There's 2 kind of hammer candles on that 200 already, right? You just didn't get that follow-up. It sold off pretty ugly there. That was also
There's a lot of contract flow at 215.
At 215.
Yep, even going farther out there is. Starts trailing in. You get out to those August 20th. That's like us playing July 16th for a while. At that August 20th range, you see a lot more flow into that 215 than on the upside.
The 215 puts, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I see that. What's your highest open interest on each the August?
270.
Highest open interest on the put side is 200. Highest open interest on the call side. Actually 315, right?
Master Spence, on Friday I wasn't on the chat. Did y'all get a play in on Hershey or JD.com? I know I was talking about them on Thursday on the chat.
No, I did not, but I'm looking at JD now, like Gap. What is JD.com again?
It's like a I was just reading about that too. It was a
They're a Chinese e-commerce company.
yeah,
Basically like eBay in China. Think of it like
Alibaba.
Yeah, Alibaba.
Yeah.
All these China stocks have been so bullish all of a sudden. All of them, man.
I've been watching AD and Hershey the other day. I know he got stuff all day.
On the yearly, it would make you think it's still got some room to go here, but I still want to see it over 79 still.
Yeah, right. That all-time high, that recent high. I don't know if it's all-time.
No, it's
But
not.
I'm pretty sure, according to the fundamentals, it's like a $120 or $115 stock.
I mean, it was 108 in February, right? That was the top basically for the market there in February, and it's been down ever since, and it's kind of it's doing the same reversal the whole market is doing. Yearly, your 200 is still up at 84.50 basically. If their fundamentals are pretty good, this should have a lot more room to go, and that could just be your confirmation to. I mean, your 180 day. This looks actually even better than your yearly, which is kind of funny.
Yo, Zach, we were just talking about some leaps on this.
Yeah, I would love to. 82.
Yep, we'll definitely be placing some leaps on this and some confirmation, either a pullback or, if it were to break above that 79 level and then revisit it, have a strong bounce.
Contract wise, right? What did I say? Target was 82. If you go to your August 20th, look at your 87 and a halves. They're smashing those.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was the exact contract I picked out January 22nd, 87 and a half, I think.
Okay, I'm looking at August 20th even.
Yep, those were pretty big too.
They're smashing those 87 and a half. Your highest open interest on the short side is 65. And your highest open interest on your call side is 75. Loving the option volume in the money here. Right, people are long, as well as these close dated. Yeah, I mean, we really got to be playing all these fucking China stocks. I mean, I hate to say it, but these things are flying.
It's because it's the last sector to move. Like, look at Baidu. Baidu's doing the same thing. You could look at any of those giant Chinese companies. They're looking at focusing on the Chinese companies that could even get through all the regulation, and that's why you're seeing a push up, because these companies are significantly undervalued.
NEO was the first one to do it. Now they're all kind of following. NEO did the first big breakout. I mean, the fucking contract volume for next week on JD is crazy. Look at
it's pretty bullish.
Look at the 80s. They were smashing the 80s. 7,000 to 1 to 17 there. You got.
Can you get a chance to pull up Baidu and look at next week's 210 push?
I think D's in Baidu, right?
I'm in Baidu.
Okay, you guys both got in Baidu. Let's see. Yeah.
For a hot minute.
Boom, bottom, breakout, and you're not even
crazy.
200 yet here. So this could be a great play. Technically kind of pre-confirmation here, even as good as that looks.
You got a cup forming on the day chart on Baidu.
Right, yeah, exactly.
See the handle and we'll fly. Or you can even scroll it up farther and see your W kind of forming as well. We didn't reach that right W, that right bottom, but you can see a cup forming just in the near term. Then if you look in contract flow, if you're looking at July 9th, look at the 210s.
I mean, your yearly, your 200 is at 222. Right, so I mean, that would be your target, I guess. Even based on the volume profile here, I mean, you're basically through this liquidity gap. You should be balling from 207 to fucking 223, 222. Should know.
I mean, they were marking the 220s. Even the 220s are a little higher going out like the next week up. You can see they're trailing this all the way up to 240.
Dude, even the leaps have a lot. Even the 22 January's, 2010s. 2020's got 5,900 open interest on the leaps, which is crazy.
Yeah, these flows are crazy bullish. The 300 for August. Someone's smashing this thing.
Yeah, I think those 210s for either next or this week or July 9th, I think those what I'll be playing on Badoo.
July 9th, 10s.
Yeah. July 9th to 210, and even the weeklies right here.
If you see it doing crazy stuff, yeah, it could be a real banger right there.
So I think the July 9th to 210 calls, I think that's what I'm safe calling for next week.
These moves are probably going to be pretty fucking aggressive. This isn't going to go for a while. We're going to want to get it while it's fucking cheap down here, pretty 200, and then let retail chase in on after that.
Hey, what's the ticker on that?
BIDU.
Yep. Demand index shooting through the roof. Positive volume curling out. RSI is kind of showing oversold here for a pullback though. What did it do the other day? 4%? Kind of just got under that 200. You would like to see this pull back a little bit for an entry. I'm trying to think what my entry on this would be.
Probably right at 200. You'll see RSI hit flat.
Yeah.
You see it pull back to the 200 and then see the next push up.
Yeah, if you get it by the 200 flat, anything under 200 flat, you want to probably get on this pretty quick. You got great volume coming in there. Volume poured into it at close. You might not be able to sniff 200. If futures are green, this could open up on a gap up. And then you're gonna have to scalp it or something, or go long. That's a problem with the market these days, man. They've done like 90% of the movements overnight. It's so fucked up.
Yep, yeah, it's been a swing market lately.
We make you swing and pray, scumbags. So you gotta buy long. They're sick of people buying weeklies on them. Let's check futures here quick. Nothing crazy. Bond market's been boring ever since OPEC. Industries, energy. NASDAQ futures, a little red, everything's kind of flat. Everything's a little flat in futures except for what? What's up, Spence? The Russell.
Come to short land. You're looking to small cap land. Tilray is definitely an ad. Saw a price up again to 32. And then we had another analyst push another price target up to 25 as well.
Are they a Canada company?
They're a Canadian wheat company.
Yeah.
We also saw on Monday they passed in the House. We got to go through the Senate, but they passed a bill that would protect banks from taking funds from cannabis companies, which will protect the banks to let them transfer here in the U.S. to accept cash and flow, which would protect the banks, which would legitimize that they're bringing it this way.
The SAFE Act?
Forget what it's called. Yeah.
I think it might be the SAFE Act or something like that, where they're trying to get like weed companies to be allowed to work with banks so they can.
So it's not the cash grab, like just cash payment.
Yeah, exactly. So they can actually pay their employees fucking benefits and shit.
Hey, Spence, what you think about those 180 calls on Hershey?
I like it a lot. I was just looking at it right now.
in the July 16th.
Because they had two things happen last week. They acquired a Lilly Confectionery, Liy, and they also, I mean, there was that made the trip to their talks with Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, yeah.
Yep. So that was the two catalysts you saw push up.
Mm-hmm.
So contracts that are right down. Those August 20th, looking at 190s.
Yeah, now remember we've been buying those July 16s for a couple of weeks now, right? We're probably almost at the cusp of working those August 20ths now, right? Let's expect that, you know.
See a lot of on the HSYs, those 180s, and then it kind of trails up the following weeks up to the 190s.
Yeah, the 190s got that's the biggest. Well, what about those 185s? Well, the 185s got less volume, but it got more open interest.
Yeah, you're safer there. I mean, my target would be up at 190, 190, even 200 range. You saw the last push up, so if I'm sitting those 190s are like right in the middle between that low end and the high end.
Gotcha,
so I'll be sitting pretty right in the middle of it.
Gotcha.
Hey, y'all think? Do you think Dash will put back retest to 200 here in the next day or two? Couple days?
Yeah, say
Dash on the 4 hour.
Nick, you're playing Dash, weren't you?
A long time ago. Like 2 months ago. Wow, what's thoughts on Dash? Where is that? Didn't it jump back up?
No, they've been running the last like week and a half. They've been running. They made like they made that little cup and handle back in March, and then end of April just dumped off to a low of 110, slowly creeping the way back up. Bounced off to 200 around what's that 613, 614 date, and just been rocketing since.
Yeah, see, I mean, DoorDash. Fundamentally, I want to short them to death.
You think they're way overpriced?
Art-wise, I don't even know. It's like you missed your play, right? If you were in this, congratulations. I mean, their contracts, they fucking traded so weird. Me and D shorted this like 2 months ago. We bought like 2 month out puts.
Back in April?
Yeah, they were bangers, but they traded so weird. Like, it would show you, like, you're down 40% all day, and then all of a sudden you're up, like, 500%. Like, it would just flip. Like, there's just not enough, like, they're not liquid enough. You know? Like, if you're looking at the volume in here, it's just not enough. Like, you might
pulling back.
You have a couple of $100 and not even have anyone to sell it to.
There's
not here. Yeah, it's like, I mean, August 20th, you kind of see some volume, but again, look, I'm buying 135 puts. That's it. That's where everyone's short here.
We're actually moving back to like the 164, mean up with the 200 around 164.
Yeah, and people are loading 135 puts already for August. They're loading them. 1,500, 135 here. More
yeah, that's the bottom.
That's
the bottom of that little channel when it was in a channel back in May 18th.
This was some bullshit news that drove them back up, right?
Some guy. The other one, not Dash. It was the other food delivery company that went from like 80 to 18. What was it? Not Uber Eats. What's the other one?
Are you talking about Postmates?
No, there was a food delivery company that got bought up by like iTaste or something like that, and its stock went from like $80 to 18 overnight. Let's see, you got DoorDash.
I know Wendy uses them. They talked about this a while ago because it just rocketed.
Yeah, with DoorDash, like I said, I would just be short if anything. But again, it's a no play for me just based on volume. Like the most liquid contracts, I mean, you have to go real long on them, and I would be short long. It just doesn't, and it doesn't really make sense to play. You know, you'll just be holding on to that and be lucky to sell, in my opinion.
Grubhub, Grub, GRUB. Yeah, they. I don't know how nobody saw this coming.
But get filled down the deal.
Yeah, it went from one day they closed at $60, and the next day they opened up at 18. They got bought out by Just Eat Takeaway to acquire Grubhub for $7.3 billion on June 10th. As soon as they went down, DoorDash ran.
Yeah, I see that. That's kind of crazy. I'm looking at it right now.
But I don't know if anybody saw this merger coming or what, but or not merger, but this buyout, whatever it was.
What do you mean? What does he mean by gap filled down? Like gap back down? Like just like
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. I think.
Here, I mean, I was saying we're saying we're bullish on this. For anything, I think this could gap up. Like, if futures are green tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if you opened up at this 200. You know, because like I said, you got that lack of liquidity from basically where it closed, right? 202.85 here to 20, to right under your 200 at 205. You have that liquidity gap. I wouldn't be surprised if they open this up just over 206. I mean, this run could really start. I do not see a gap down here whatsoever. But Badu is on watch to the upside for sure. I'm gonna post my Badu chart so you know what I'm looking at. Let me show you guys what I mean by like liquidity gap. You see that volume profile on the side? That's what I mean by liquidity gap, right? Where you see that lack of volume there. Now stocks, they have trouble with that, right? They're just they want to go to like the highest liquidity zone. They don't want to be in those gaps there. I mean, this is 180 day. So I mean, if you tightened it up, it's gonna. There's so many gaps. Holy shit. Yeah, see, like same thing. If you go to your 10-day, 30-minute, look at how it gapped up through those liquidity gaps. That's all it's showing you there. Send this one. Oops. There's your 10-day, 30-minute. Look at your volume profile on the side there, right? Hammered off your 200, and then when it closed, you gapped up over that liquidity zone, came down, bottomed out on it, came back up, right? I usually use that for bottoms. You use that for gap up plays, but you want to look at it through like multiple different time frames, of course. Oh shit. So that's what I mean when I say liquidity zones. Let me go back to work notice. For whoever mentioned workhorse earlier, I mean, I've been saying for a while. I mean, anytime I see it under $15, I like it to the upside for the most part. Great volume coming in on close there. I mean, fucking fantastic. It's the most volume we saw that whole day into close. Got you back over your 200 on your 5-day. 180-day, you're way over it. Gapped up over it. Still have nice room to the upside on your 180-day 4-hour with a good liquidity zone all the way up into 18. Let's send this chart. If you want to get it back over that 21 a little bit, but we're also bullish. I mean, it's just crazy to say. It's just I think it's time that Russell is going to start to break out. So this stock will be very much on watch if the Russell did start to move there. There's your workhorse. Ignore the lines. Just looking at your 200, your 21, and the volume profile there. That's really what I'm looking at. Like I said, play that liquidity zone up to 18. I want to see it get over that red line there. Basically, close right at it. Basically, I want to see it over 16, and I would play it up into 18. I did have. I cut them already. I had July calls. July 30 calls. And I was hodling those. I got out of those for a small profit, but I'm pretty bullish on workhorse long term.
I like them after their gap down.
What'd you say?
Gap. No, I like them long term as well after their big gap down, regardless of their ex-CEO being the CEO of the fraud company, Lucid Motors, or Lordstown Motors, not Lucid Motors. Lucid Motors is a real company. Lordstown is not. Yeah, no, I'm definitely bullish on workhorse long term.
Yo, Zach, look at the lemonade, like the open interest for August 20th, the 115 strikes and the leaps for the 125s.
115. I'm on my phone because my computer's recording, so no, I'm looking at my. Let's see, you got 2022. You said the 120s, 2022s?
No, the 125.
You played this run up, right? You caught this, Jack?
Yeah.
Great fucking job on the 100. I mean, you basically fucking smashed off that 200 day, right? Broke out.
I've been swimming this like a week now, a week and a half.
And now you finished.
Lemonade, yes. Yes, you
Wow.
Now again, I'm gonna send this chart again.
Yeah, there's some big open interest here. August 115s, 120s for July.
Look at where it stopped, right? Just look at where it closed in regards to the volume profile on the side, right? It's not a fucking coincidence that it stopped right at that volume gap. You want to play those high liquid zones, and when it comes and it tops out there, I'll send an XM chart here where I said it's not going to break 65 intraday. I've been saying that for a while. It's not going to do it. The stock's literally not allowed to do it. As ridiculous as that sounds.
Right, so we could see Lemonade come back down to that 200 meet at, like, say...
Come back to 200 or gap up.
Or gap up, right.
Right? It's one of that or the other.
If it gapped up, it'd be, like, just shy of
130. It would be right at the bottom of that next, highest liquidity zone there. Which if you want to close the time, get more precise, but... Where are the bag holders at?
RSI.
I'm going to show you this Exxon chart. Same thing. Look at it. This is a 3-year, 3-day. A little bit more long term. So that's how long it's almost been since Actually, maybe I'll do 2 year. 2 years should be that's better. Now, look at it practically. I mean, it's still higher highs, which is why I'm still super bullish on this, right? Because we've added to this zone. Send it over. Exxon 2 year, few day. Right? Look at it where it stopped, and look at the volume profile there, right? We just capped out right at that zone. So I would expect that gap up to right about that's what we'd love to see. Like we're gonna need some type of news or the Dow to just go fucking busted mode. Yeah, let's look at the Dow here. Yeah, the Dow does look freaking pretty nice. I mean,
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
right back over that 200. It was like a nice fake break, and so now we're good.
Yeah. All right. So what so far? Because I wasn't listening for half of it because my phone was charging. What do we got on watch for next week?
Well, I hear one more thing what I'm saying with those liquidity gaps, right? Now see where it stopped on Exxon, right? It stopped right at that. It couldn't cross that 65 because there's that gap, right, in the volume.
Mm-hmm.
Go to July 16th, 66 calls, because that's where the liquidity comes back, right? I said it kind of has to open up at 66. Look at your July 16, 66 calls. More volume than open interest.
That's a good sign.
Great sign. Why?
And there's a shitload of open interest on those 65.
Hold on. Are you? Can you go to July 9th? Go to July 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 65, 65 and a half, 66 and a half?
Yeah, I don't know why it makes that gap there. That's weird.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's really weird.
There's no 66.
They just forgot it?
What?
There's 66 for this week, too.
Right, and there's more volume than open interest.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there no 66?
I don't know. They fucked that up.
How did they do 65 and a half and 66 and a half?
Every single other one has 66.
What?
Until you get to August, of course.
Well, I've never seen. That's the trippiest thing.
Weird.
There are no 66 strikes in August.
Maybe they know something.
Right? What do they know?
Yeah, what do they know? Oil to $100 an hour, maybe.
I'm coming for these motherfuckers. Yeah. Range.
Interesting. Well, that's notable.
Tomorrow, waiting for tomorrow pre-market. I'll have a watch list together in my chat.
What did we chat about?
Just from tonight. I mean, JD and Badu, definitely. Those are going to be in my alerts, right? We've been saying it. Still super bullish. Baba's still in there. I'm still in that Baba play.
I've been in here.
Can't wait to keep playing that this week.
I've been in here for a hot minute. I've been in this bitch.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
Look at my alert. I called that bad boy. I was probably like a couple weeks early. You scroll back. She's in there.
She's in there. Loading her.
What else did we talk about? My phone's gonna die. 4%.
We got
Badu, Baba's on.
Yeah, 245 price target for Baba.
240 for Baba.
245.
Okay.
Hershey, JD.com.
JD.com, yeah, Hershey.
Badu.
We got CarMax.
All right, what's that?
Lemonade.
Car.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, the used cars.
KMX.
No, AMS.
KMX.
I'm also watching Jamia. I might be playing Jamia tomorrow, but it's going to be more. I'm not probably going to be like long on it. It'll probably be like scalps, like maybe like 2 weeks out, a week out. More of like an intraday play. It does when it moves. It's like a 7-8% mover intraday here. I did like where it closed the other day.
We have Monday too.
I actually do like Bed Bath and Beyond. I like their
They have earnings.
Earnings.
earnings. I like these 31s.
31s.
If we can retrace Bed Bath and Beyond down to like even 28 and a half, those 31s will be prime. Because that's one of the only meme stocks that's actually trading towards like the fundamentals. Like their target's $850 million to $1 billion on EBITDA by 2023, and they're actually like hitting those numbers.
Okay.
And they have $1.36 billion in cash on hand. So
Money.
DAC 42 at open.
What's up, Dave? Welcome back.
Hey,
Whoops. So
I'm in and out. I've been in and out.